certainly, most importantly, Apple sold 9 million iPhones. Clayton, can you put that in some sort of context for normal people when they look at a number like 9 million phones in a weekend? What does that really mean?
Well, I think, it's interesting because the question was, would Apple be able to eclipse the number that they made last year? I think it was 5 million in opening weekend last year, and analysts were saying maybe they'll do 6, perhaps 7. So when you nearly double the amount of iPhones in an off cycle, I mean, that S cycle, right? The 5S cycle, the 4S cycle, it's pretty remarkable that this is in a year when really, if you look at the 5S, just, a couple of new features, right? The fingerprint scanner, big deal. Some of the features in the camera, of course, but it's not it doesn't look, unless you've got the gold device, like all that much different than the 5. So it's really a remarkable number. Well, and you saw that in their stock too. They were up over 500 as a result.
I was going to ask you, Alex, did you go out? Did you order one?
No, I didn't. I will catch up. I'm just behind. So no, I didn't do it. I did applaud what happened there, but I think that the interesting thing about it, I think one of the reasons that we're seeing that is they're opening in a lot more countries at one time. So I think that those opening weekends are much more impressive because I believe that there's a lot more sites that they open to.
China.
Go ahead.
China.
Yes, exactly. And I think that so I think that that's one of the big things. I think that also, I think for a lot of people did not upgrade to the 5. So I think a lot of people with the 4S, I just know a lot of people that have 4Ss that just the 5 wasn't enough of a bump, so that they didn't really, it had a different form factor, and for them there wasn't enough of a jump. And really, if it was me, I would constantly be jumping from one. I'd go from each iPhone to each iPhone, but it's kind of my job. So, but if I was just doing it for myself, I'd probably go from one S to another, rather than, if I'm going to pick which cycle to be on, I'd rather be on the S cycle than the standard cycle.
Now, Clayton, there was a bit, some people attacked the number saying that Apple released 2 new iPhones this year, which is not something they historically do. There's the high-end iPhone 5S and the new mid-range iPhone 5C, and that they had those extra countries. But as far as I know, Apple never breaks down which iPhones get sold. They give you total numbers, and by that measure, it's still an impressive debut.
Right. I was at the Apple store on Fifth Avenue, and not one, I asked a bunch of people online what they were getting. They were all getting 5Ss. So I'm sure a lot of those, I guess those pre-order numbers, right? So if you're ordering, you've paid your money, they've taken your credit card information, you're probably not getting it though until October. So you might not have been able to get the physical phone in your hand, but they're still able to add that to that number for sales that weekend. Or is it not included until your credit card is actually billed, which might actually be a few weeks? Because Apple traditionally, when they scan your credit card, when they take your credit card information, they don't actually, charge you for it until it's like a few days away from shipping. So I'd be curious to know how many of those that you just want to tap the home button just to unlock it, or just to wake it, and then just keep your finger there. And, once the screen is alive, it'll take you right into the phone. So you don't physically need to, you don't have to tap the power button on the top and then do the fingerprint scanner on the bottom. You just have to simply wake it. Yeah, it's very, very, very fast. And my experience with it so far has been great. And I know there's been a number of reports, people saying the same thing. It's like they've picked up their iPhone 5 or their older iPhone, or even the 5C I've picked up to play with. And my feeling is to go right to that home button now and to use the fingerprint scanner to unlock it. And I just find, and it's funny on the iPad, I'm just like, oh, I have to peck out my password. Come on.
It's like an animal now.
Right.
It's interesting because, so of course, the minute everyone tried it, the internet, half of YouTube was flooded with people using their nipples to unlock it, or their dog's paws. And it turns out that, yes, anything that is biological and has a pattern on it can be registered and then can be used to unlock it. And yes, if you are a CSI level person who can, if you have a really good ability to take fingerprints and produce high resolution photographed scans, and you know the procedure, you can spoof this ID. But Alex, this doesn't seem like the point to me. It seems like this is just something along the dial between convenience and security. And for most people, most of the time, it's still better than a passcode.
Absolutely. I think this is far more secure than a passcode. Unless you have a really long password, hash, which almost nobody has.